Hey friend, so this is a video where I'm going to be showing you the process of making this cardboard wearable art piece that is inspired by a moth. I made it for an exhibition and performance evening, and I guess the video is just going to be showing you the process of designing it and constructing it and right through till the actual evening. And I'll be sharing some tips about the construction process and just showing you a bit of a behind the scenes into my studio and what it was like to make this piece. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Okay, so the plan is I want to use all of my small, tiny scrap pieces of cardboard for this costume. I have these containers and boxes all throughout the studio that as I work with a big piece of cardboard and I cut it down, I keep the smaller pieces. They're all different sizes, they're all different types of boxes, but I just don't like to throw any of it out. So I thought this is a great chance to clear out all of this. I'm basically going to paint one side of the cardboard in one of the colors, and then the other side is going to remain natural cardboard on the underside. I've got quite a lot. I've got these two boxes full. I've got this. I've got all this cardboard here. I've got a bit more over there. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do now. Painting is going to happen first, so let's do it. So I have painted a whole bunch of cardboard. I've got this tealy green, this blue, a red, and like a black color palette for the wings. And I've done a whole bunch of patterns on them all. They're all pretty dry. So now what I'm doing is cutting them all into tiny little pieces, into little squares, which I will then cut into little circles, and then they will be all ready to then stick to the fabric. So I'm going to do that now, spend a few hours doing that, listening to podcasts, and we'll see how we go. I have all of the cardboard pieces here in a few different containers or tubs. I'll show you the little tester of what the patterns will look like together. That's just how I am making sure that the color palettes work, and I can start to visualize what the costume could look like just by doing this little sample over here. So yeah, it's just a production line, chop, 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 and get it all done. Alright, so this afternoon I made the cape, or the cloak. It's huge, big semicircle, or it'd be like circle skirt that goes around the neck. And then I just sat down and did a rework of the actual cape pattern. Just a really simple moth butterfly pattern. Just use the symmetrical tool. So I'm going to use that as like a base. If it doesn't happen completely the same way, I'm okay with that. I'm just going to go with the process. And I've got one of the most exciting things. I got these little buttons from Reverse Garbage, and I've used them before for a garment as like little sequins, and I'm going to use these on the back. I can just sandwich the tulle between that little bit and that, which is really great. It's saved me so much time. So my aim tonight, I'm going to sort of work around here because I'm not really sure what the neckline is going to look like. And I think I'm going to have to finesse like smaller little pieces, and just, I'm scared to start right at the very top. So I'm going to start around here, work my way down. I might actually put some tape down the middle or some pins just so I've got like a center line to work from, and just going to work my way around. It's a lot. I'm going to have to cut so many more sequins, but it is what it is. All right. Okay, let's just do the first one.
And ended up like walking out right when the music started, when the show was starting, finding her seat, and my sweet goddaughter, who's an amazing model, Wiz, coming out, and she is like one of those models. She's like 6 feet tall, just blasted. And there's Gabby finding her seat. This is very gentle, graceful. Just have had a girl back here. Not your seat, lady. Yeah. And you know, Gabby didn't. She did it then, and now she is at it again. We're all. Nobody wants to see her leave the show. She is entertaining, but.
Hey. So it's close. It's 10:30 on a Friday night. I've just spent, I think, 4 hours gluing everything to this, and I haven't taken it off the mannequin since I began. So I'm going to try it on and see what it looks like. It feels nice. I can't really see it from here. I definitely have thoughts, and the stretch of it means I'm gonna have to make less, because the weight of it is like pulling it down, and I don't mind that I've got no head right now. Yeah, it's definitely creature-like, so that's good. Alright, I'm going to bed. New setup. So I needed to be able to open the wingspan out so I could just make sure that things are like symmetrical, and also just to see what it would look like, because I think that's the way that I'm going to hang it. So I've just clipped with little bulldog clips down the seam, so I know that it's not going to rip or tear the cape, and then just like hooked it up to my walls, which is working really good. So now I can see the full wingspan, and I think this is going to make the process a lot quicker because I can just like pop things in really nicely, and I'm going to keep some like negative space happening, so I think I'm going to do like little peekaboos all the way through it. Yeah, so I just thought I'd share that with you. It's working. It's working really well. Being able to like symmetrically work out where all the veins go is going really good. I'm not really time-lapsing this because it's a process I've done before, and I just don't want all that content really on my computer. Yeah, I'm really loving where it's going. I'm going to be keeping a lot of negative space and just playing with the veins going through the wings. So yeah. So it's the final day of making. I've got, so the dress rehearsal is on Thursday in 2 days, and I want to just have the costume done today, so tomorrow I can just work on some of my other projects. I spoke to the stylist of the runway show and realized that the work is going to be displayed for the exhibition, and I need to make it easier for her to hang it. So it's not going to be on a model, it's going to be like hanging on across like a bamboo pole, because they're going to be suspended in the air. What I thought I would do is making these little anchor points that I'm going to stick. So along the seam that goes from the neckline to the fingertip, I'm going to create these elastic little loopholes that will go on the underside, sort of like maybe like I've got like 5 for each side. That'll go along each side, and they'll become anchor points that then she can use to cable tie it and suspend it in, and it doesn't fall off the pole because it's going to be hanging like almost like a clothesline. This is something I was going to do one of these on either side anyway for the model to put her finger through, so when she's wearing it, it doesn't move, and we just know that once she's sort of like locked in with her fingers, almost like a ring, we know that it's not going to slip, and that the pattern's going to be symmetrical as possible. And yeah, so this is a little construction thing that I do when I'm making my jewelry, like my rings, and it's a really simple piece of elastic threaded through some cardboard, tied off to create a loop, and that becomes the sort of like base of the ring, and then you can do whatever you want on top of that. And so I'm going to finish that, do the earrings, decide if I'm going to trim the edge, and just do 1 or 2 little bit last minute finesses, and get all the hot glue strings off it as well. So bit of coffee and then get into it. She's done. I'm really happy with it. I'm just sitting here looking at it. It's behind the camera, just here. So I forgot that I had to actually put on some Velcro as well. I needed to make it shorter at the front, so the person wearing it didn't trip on it. So I just added these little circle Velcro dots, so it tucks under and just sort of anchors in. I really love it. The drape of it feels really nice sitting on my desk. Like It feels like a dress, which is obviously the point of it, but I think it's just something I go through in my head. The idea of it being a cardboard wearable piece of art and feeling like it's not quite fashion, not quite costume, not quite art, or maybe that it is a bit of fashion, it is a bit of costume, it is a bit of art. It can sometimes feel, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of imposter syndrome or something like that. I feel like, do people see it the way that I see it? Or like love it the way that I love it? Or is it good enough, or does it look too crafty? Because I am fine with the idea of things being crafty. My work is crafty, but when people look at it and go, oh, that's just crafty because they look at the materials I use, in my head, getting over that trigger of thinking that people are just going to go, oh, that's just made of cardboard, it's cheap and crafty and like not quality, which is something that I've always had to try and get over when I was younger, or like emerging in my career. Like, that's the things people would say to me at markets. Why does it cost $50? It's just a piece of cardboard. And as the years go on, I obviously am getting more and more comfortable with the idea that when people buy my work, they're a lot of the times paying for more of my artistry, and my overhead costs for materials is a lot less, but they're paying for other things. And I like that that's what I'm sort of basing it on. And like the fact that it feels, I think this is a whole nother video. Maybe I'll go into it in another video, the idea of like using cardboard, because there is so much there that I've learned over the last 10 years. It's basically, I'm finished, is the moral of this story. And yeah, I decided to leave the extra sort of like 10 centimeters of tulle at the bottom because I just really like it. I like that it makes it feel a little bit like wispy and like wing-like. I'm going to try and film at the dress rehearsal, and then I'll obviously film on the night as well. So let's go there. I'm all packed and ready to go to the events, and I've just got a little kit of everything that I'm taking just in case there's like a costume malfunction or something happens beforehand. So this is just what I take. I'm planning on taking some video while the costume is being performed, and also the event in general. So we'll just see if I remember to do it or not, because in the moment I'm pretty terrible at doing that kind of stuff. So this is me trying to hold myself accountable. All right, let's go to the event. Yeah, it's like thank God there's people here. She's back. Okay, so I have finished it. Project's back. Picked up the costume yesterday from the stylist after the exhibition was over, and yeah, everything just went so well. I'm really happy with the whole turnout. So obviously first, having my friend Space Horse, who is a drag performer, wear the outfit. I'll link them below somewhere. It worked really well. And wanting to have
Space Horse Wear, the outfit was really great because one, I was able to like collaborate with a friend, and we've always wanted to like work together, so it's great to have a friend in it and to collaborate in that way. And then two, because of the style of the whole project, knowing that it was going to be performed, I thought having someone who is a performer and could really perform the outfits through the events and sort of interact with people and be really comfortable was like a really good way of doing it. I'm really glad I didn't have to do it, or I didn't have anyone who didn't feel comfortable in that way, because yeah, it could have felt a little bit awkward. In terms of the look itself, having the corset underneath was a perfect fit in the end. It all just looks like one complete outfit, which is what you want it to be, but I'm really glad it just worked. All the styling of like the short hair was intentional, so it wasn't on the cape. Having some earrings, really simple boot, and also the height at the front, having it lift up, worked perfectly as well. So in terms of the look overall, Moth, the costume, the outfit, the presentation, loved it. And I'm really glad that the organisers loved it as well, and I got some really good feedback too. In terms of the performance or the presentation, catwalk, it was really interesting to see how all of the 6 outfits ended up actually working quite well in terms of a collection. We didn't really have anyone double up on a theme or be really similar in colour palette or silhouettes or shapes, and as like a collection, fate just worked in our favour that we all ended up doing something a little bit different, which was cool. As Geordie was walking through, we noticed on the rehearsal that some of the floor was actually really, it was like a non-slip, gritty texture, and it meant the lace was getting caught on it, and we had to come up with the best pace for Spacey to walk at. If she walked too slow, it really got caught on the train and would just like slightly pull. But if she walked too fast, then it didn't really feel like it was the character, and it just felt too rushed. And also when she was doing spins, we had to kind of make sure that she could do like a bigger circle loop rather than standing on the spot and spinning, because the dress just had to have more space to sort of drag behind her in a way. And so that's the best thing about doing a rehearsal the day before, is that we were able to see that and have a bit of time to just think about it before the day and to get used to the idea of how fast she had to walk, so then on the night it wasn't an issue at all. Then at the end of the night we had to take it all off, and then the costume was being exhibited for the weekend over 2 days, and it was going to be hung on that pole like I mentioned earlier, and that went off seamlessly as well. It was really nice to hear from the stylist to say that like it looked really good, and the way that it hung was like this big tapestry, and it looked like it was intended to be hung on the pole, and that just worked in my favour, which is cool. It definitely has given me an idea of maybe wanting to make some wall hangings in that size or that shape. Another whole project that could come off it, or a fun experimentation. Or it also could be a fun way to display it, not just in my IKEA bag. If I want to hang it up as an exhibition piece in a group show or display it somewhere, it's good to know that that is an option of how I could display it if it wasn't on a mannequin. So that's pretty good versatility, incidental versatility. And so that's how the final stage of this project went. This was a really fun video to put together, and also hopefully you enjoyed coming along the journey with me, maybe learning some different things about my process, or even things that you could implement in your own process. If you did like it, I'd love for you to either shoot me a comment and let me know which part you liked the most, give us a like, or even sharing this video on my channel with any friends that you think might be interested in this kind of stuff. I'm always trying to find more friends and bring more people in to my world. Maybe there's a collaboration that you think might be a really good fit between yourself and me. I'm always open to collaborations. So with that, I am going to leave it here, and I will see you all in the next video.